All right. I want to start off by giving all honor and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakakwadash. Want to give double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone for teaching us this truth. And I want to say shalom to the brothers and sisters that are in this truth. Shalom. All right. So I'm here with another lesson, and this one's gonna be a real quick hit before camp. Before I meet up with the brothers. The spirit was on me. I was gonna do another lesson, but the spirit hopped on me to do this one. I bumped into one of the brothers from GMS Boston. All right. During work, and he blessed me with a prayer in Hebrew, right? And the Lord put the spirit in me, to also share it with you guys, because the power of praying in Hebrew, all right, is much more powerful than these bastard tongues. Okay, the Lashawan Kadash, the language of the heavens, right? So it's important, if you come across these lessons where the brothers are sharing, prayers in Hebrew, for you to lock them in, you know what I mean, and just have them, in a digital folder. All right, screenshot them, write them down. Okay, and and I'm speaking to myself first and foremost. Okay, because and the brother was right. He said, in these times we're gonna need these prayers, right? And the times we're coming in, man, it's gonna be a lot of spiritual attacks. All right, there's gonna be a lot of spiritual attacks, and you're gonna have to tap into prayer. All right, so the power of praying in Hebrew, okay, is important. All right, let's start off with before I get to prayer, let's go to the book of Ecclesiasticus, right, also known as the book of Sirach. All right, and when you go down, okay, I'm gonna bring it all the way up to where you're supposed to read it. Bang, right there, right? All right, it says, wherein we, Ecclesiasticus 1:1, right? Wherein we may seem to come short of some words, okay, which we have labored to interpret, for the same thing uttered in Hebrew and translated into another tongue have not the same force in them. You see that? I'm going to read that again. Wherein we may seem to come short of some words, which we have labored to interpret, for the same things uttered in Hebrew and translated into another tongue have not the same force in them. Okay, so if you have prayers and you can get them in Hebrew, man, all right, understand that it's going to be that much more powerful. All right, you see, this is our original tongue. All right, and that's the tongue of the heavens, as I said. All right, so a prayer in Hebrew has that much more power. All right, and it's also spiritual, man. Okay, it's a faith booster. All right, you step into the throne boldly. All right, so let's get the prayer that the brother shared. Okay, and then we're gonna get a few more scriptures. All right. So the prayer comes from Psalms chapter 51 and 11. All right, and it says first I'm gonna read it in the English, and then I'm gonna read it in the Hebrew. Okay, it says, "Send not me from your face, / presence, and take not your Holy Spirit from me." Okay, and you see that a lot of people in these last days, okay, the Holy Spirit is being stripped from them slowly but surely, and some faster than others. All right, we see what happened to those to what they to who they calling Heckle and Jekyll. All right, the elders are calling them Heckle and Jekyll, right? Akkad and Hassan, right? Formerly known from the Sakari, now they're Genesis or some shit like that. Okay, you see what happened to them. You see what happened to Guerrilla Hebrew. You see what's happening to all these other camps. All All right, you see what's going on. They don't have the spirit. All right, see what's going on with IUIC. All right, it's a very dangerous thing. It's a very, it's scary because it can happen to any of us. All right, we're in this hoping, all right, that we are part of that number. All right, and that's why we're striving for the mastery. Okay, but we have to be humble in this. All right, and pray for these things. Pray that the Lord has mercy on us. Pray that the Lord doesn't strip us from the Holy Spirit, right? From the faith, that gift that He has given us. Okay, because faith is a gift. All right. So now I'm going to read this, all right, in the Hebrew, okay? And like I said, you brothers, and you sisters, all right, write this down. Take a screenshot, all right? These there's going to be tough times coming, man, and there's going to be times where you feel like, man, what's going on? Sometimes you feel like the spirit is being stripped from you. You're dry. You're getting these feelings, Satan's attacking you, okay? You're gonna need these prayers, all right? And Lord willing, I'm gonna do some more. I got more prayers in the digital folder that I'm gonna bring out. I've done some before, but in these times, your brothers and sisters are gonna need them, okay? And I'm gonna need them myself, all right? So let me read this in the Hebrew. Okay, it says shalak, which is send, right? La'ah, not. Awataya, me, right? Mayan, from. Panyaka, your face, right? Presence. Wa, which is and. Lakash, take. La'ah, right? Not. Kadashka, your holy. Rakah, right? Spirit. Mayanya, from me. Okay, so let me read that through. Shalak, La'ah, Awataya, Mayan, Panyaka, Wa, Lakash, La'ah, Kadashka, Rakah, Mayanya. Okay, so send not me from your presence, your face, and take not your Holy Spirit from me. Okay, and that's important because remember, the Holy Spirit is the guide, right? The Holy Spirit is what's teaching you everything. If you get stripped from the Holy Spirit, you're out of here. All right? You're just a shell of yourself. Okay? You're back in that dead state of mind. Okay? Revelations 11 and 8, right? They're dead bodies in a spiritual place called Egypt and Saddam. All right? Here in America, you're just going back to that valley of the dry bones. Okay? The Holy Spirit is what got you alive right now. It's giving you the blueprint, the answers, all right, to these things that are coming and preparing us, right, with the light that it has shed upon us, right, that comforter. Okay, so this prayer is very important, man, right? This prayer, shows a lot of humility because a lot of people, think that they're already numbered with those men and they don't worry, okay? But you have to understand that we're in this race and at any time we could fall off, and that's just the will of the Lord. And who can resist the will of the Lord, For who has resisted his will? Okay? So let me get a few more scriptures, right? And I'm going to close this out because I got to get ready for camp. Let's go to the first book of Thessalonians, right? Let's go to 5 and 16. Let's start at 16. It says, rejoice evermore. Pray without ceasing. You see? Some brothers just wake up, and just go about their day, I try to get at least 3 prayers a day, So pray without ceasing, man. This is a powerful tool, right, in your arsenal. It says, in everything give thanks, for this is the will of Yahweh and Hamashiach Yahushua concerning you. Okay, so we got to pray without ceasing, man. All right? First thing you do when you wake up, man. You know what I mean? Rinse your hands. Okay, wash your face. Brush your teeth, whatever, and kneel down, man. Face to the east. All right? And hey, pour out that prayer. Okay? Ask for righteous things. We're not going to sit there and pray for $1 million or, Lord, please, give me a career. I want a house. No. We're going to pray for righteous things, for the strength to deal with our afflictions, right? For our faith to increase, for his mercy, right? and for the Holy Spirit to keep directing us in the right direction. All right. So let's go to the book of John. Like I said, it's a quick hit. I gotta get rolling to camp right now. John 15 and verse 7, right? It says, if ye abide in me, and my words abide in you, ye shall ask what ye will, and it shall be done unto you. Okay? You see, but that's the important thing. Abiding in the Lord means walking in this walk, right? Not just going out there teaching, right? Feigning yourself to be a just man, and then when the camera's cut off and you're not around brothers, you're acting like some nigga. No. Abiding in the Lord, right, is doing, right? Is walking after his walk. He was the greatest example, okay? Even though we're not going to be perfect, all right? But like I said, we're striving for the mastery, right? We're striving for perfection. We're going to fall, right? But you get yourself back up, and you don't consistently say, oh, well, you know, we're under grace, the blood of Yahweh Shai, whatnot, and you act like some nigga. No. Okay, you don't use that as a cloak of maliciousness. All right, you offend less. You learn from your mistakes. Okay? And that's where prayer comes in. All right? And if you're a righteous vessel, all right, the things that you ask for, the righteous things, will be done unto you, man. Okay? So let's get one more before I close out. Let's get the book of Ephesians, okay? Because this is the times that we're in. All right? And it's only this energy is going to ramp up even more. All right? Ephesians chapter 6, we're going to start at 12. It says, for we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities, against powers, against the rulers of the darkness of this world. You see that? So we're battling these entities, man. And remember, Esau Edom is a witch. All right. All right. And most of his devices that he uses against brothers is his money. Okay. The fancy things of this world. Okay. You see that? And plus, there's going to be demonic and spiritual attacks as well. All right? You got to battle all that. Okay? Understanding the times we're in, because we're almost at the end. If you don't believe that, you're going to fall. All right? And it says, against spiritual wickedness in high places. All right? It says, for wherefore, take unto you the whole armor of Yahweh, that ye may be able to withstand in the evil day. And evil is coming. Evil just means bad times. All right. Evil is coming. All right. And having done all to stand. All right. And one of the biggest armor, one important armor, right, piece of armor that you can have is praying, man. All right. But if you can have it in the Hebrew tongue, it is that much more powerful. All right. Understand that. Okay. Because this is the times we're in, man. A lot of people are going to fall from this truth. A lot of people are not going to be able to hold on. All right. But we have our arsenal, man. Our battle is spiritual. Okay. And praying is one of our greatest tools. Right. It's one of the greatest tools we can have, man. The power of praying in Hebrew. All right. So, Lord willing, this was edifying. And with that, I'm going to give all honor and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushai, Bahashem, Rakak Wadash. I want to give double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone for teaching us this truth. And I want to say shalom to the brothers and sisters that are in this truth. Shalom. And and like I said, man, the water, for the brother Tazawar from GMS Boston, he blessed me with that prayer, and Lord willing, this could help out, you brothers out there as well, and you sisters, okay, that are struggling, with this roller coaster ride that we in, okay? Hey, shalom.